ideal outcome is to get a yes or no, and to get a yes or no to give me a credit card, right? So that's what I'm going to ask for first. So I go through my questions, and I'm going to say, I can tell you no, you can tell me no, and they'll finally say, and I might ask, hey, David, let's pretend it's the end of the meeting, and you're thinking, you know what? I think Walker can really help me. And I'm thinking, you know what? I think I can really help David. What do you see is happening next? I would ask them. And often people stumble, go, well, I don't know. They might say, well, I need to talk to my CFO or my partner or whatever. Well, then I've learned something I didn't know before.
Yep.
Sometimes they'll say, well, we'll have another meeting. I'll say, well, typically in a situation like this, you're pulling out your credit card, Visa or MasterCard, and we're swiping it for somewhere between $5,000 and $50,000. Would you be okay if at the end of the meeting, you and I are agreeing that we can help each other? Would you be okay with that step? And some people would say, oh, hell no. And you say, okay. Another thing we do, if you're not ready for that, is we set a date for another meeting with the people need to be there or whatever. And then I'll show up with a proposal and we'll figure out what we do from there. And at the end of that meeting, you can decide whether or not you want to give me a credit card for $5,000 to $50,000. You okay with that?
That sounds good.
And they say, oh, hell no to any of that. Then you say, I don't want to waste your time.
And here we go, guys.
Good thing, most people say, damn, he's got a process.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Process.
Damn, he's got a process.
Guys, welcome to another episode of The Process. I'm here with my man, Walker Mckay, and he's going to drop some sales knowledge on us today. Guys, sales is a lifeblood of every single company. If you're not paying attention to this free content, you just don't want to win in business. So without further ado, I'm going to let my man Walker take it over.
Great. Hey, thank you, David. Thank you so much for inviting me on the show. I'm honored to be here.
Should be. No, I'm just playing.
Damn right I should be. I know. You're the damn man. What should we be talking about today?
Yeah, so just kind of let us know how you came to be the sales boss. You know, how did all this come together?
So I've about a million things have come together. I kind of got here by accident. I've been in a bunch of different businesses, including sales training for a long time. And it's funny, I left the last company I was with. I've failed at sales and business a whole bunch of times. I've learned a whole lot of lessons the hard way. And one of the lessons I've learned is I'm not really good with working with other people. So I kind of had to start out on my own. So I've been doing sales consulting for companies, kind of outsourced VP of sales stuff for about 3 years. And then a friend of mine, a friend of ours, Lee Bradshaw, called me and said, you need to share what you know with other people. You need to spread it to a much wider audience. And I said, well, that's a real neat idea. How the hell do you do that? And Lee says, I know how to do that. And so we created something called the No BS Sales School. And so we're now available nationwide, theoretically worldwide, to give damn good sales training to people who are interested in it.
I'm in the No BS Sales Schools. And guys, you can find that group on Facebook. If you're not in there, I highly recommend that you join. Just great content, great tips, and how to improve your sales conversions on a daily basis. Walker does a great job of just keeping it consistent and just keeping it real. I mean, it's authentic and it's stuff that works. I mean, I listen to it when I go jogging. I check it out on my lunch break. So do yourself a favor and check that out.
That's great. Yeah, we have a lot of free content on Facebook, also on my LinkedIn page. We post a couple of videos a week, 1 to 2 minute stuff, and then we have a paid for school that people can also enroll in. But that's a separate deal.
So what would you say from your perspective, right? Someone that clearly has been in the sales world for a long time, clearly has been through it all, has seen the top and the bottom. What would you say that most businesses are doing incorrectly right now, and how can they change that?
Okay. I would think that a lot of times people, a couple of things, they're probably hiring the wrong salespeople to start with.
Mm.
And when I say that, I think that 90% of people that are in sales probably shouldn't be. They probably got in. It takes 6 months, or actually it's about 6 months. It may be 18 months to get a plumbing license in South Carolina, become a licensed plumber.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes as long as it takes to print a business card to be a salesperson. So
right.
A lot of people got into sales because their friend said, hey, you can talk to anybody. And so they went and got a sales job. And then they thought it was all about talking and convincing people. And the reality is that really good sales is about listening and asking questions. So that's probably the start. That's the number one thing. They're probably hiring the wrong people, and then they're probably not giving them the right direction once they bring them on board.
Okay, you hit on something that's very valuable. I want to kind of dig deep into that. So you said good sales is not talking, it's actually listening.
Yes.
Can you expand on that a little bit more, please? Give a little bit more context.
Yeah, sure. So I go talk with folks, and a lot of times I'll ask a salesperson or a business owner, give me 3 reasons why I should do business with you at your company. Mm-hmm. And invariably I'll get some kind of an answer, David, like, we got better people, we got better service, we got better quality.
They make it all about them instead of about the prospect.
That is correct. And I said, how many of your competitors say we got worse people, we got worse product, and we got worse service? None of them do. And the reality is the only reason somebody's better is because you think it's better. One thing that's better for one person might be worse than for the other.
Right.
So selling is about understanding what your buyer's really looking for, or being straight up with them about whether or not you can help them. I'm all about don't bullshit anybody. Everything needs to be on the level, easy, straight up between. Truth.
Like that. Man, you just hit on a lot of points, and that makes a lot. You're obviously, I follow your stuff, so I believe in it. That's why I wanted you on the show, is because I know what you're preaching works. So if you were let's say you're a sales guy or gal, or let's say you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, and you need to get better at sales. This is something that is ongoing. You need to keep on studying it. You have to keep on getting better at it. The easiest way to increase the profit of your business is to take what you already have and just convert at a higher level. If you're closing 30% and you're at 20% profit, well, if you take some time, educate yourself, and close at 50%, you damn near just doubled your profit margin without doing anything, without spending a single dollar in advertisement, right?
Yeah.
So this is how important understanding the psychology behind sales and good closing is. And I just want you to get into just talk a little bit more about that. Like you said, listening, asking the right questions. Maybe give the audience some questions that you like to ask during your sales process.
Let me give you some concepts first, and I'll give you some questions. Number one is we all have to realize we're not the right fit for everybody that talks to us. Well, I can't, when I say, who's your ideal client? Somebody would say, anybody, or anybody with a house, or anyone
that wants to pay me.
Yeah, that's bullshit, right? That they're not the ideal. If you don't know who your ideal client is, you're missing the boat.
Yeah.
The second thing is understand that not everybody who asks for a proposal deserves one. Not everybody deserves all our free information. I think one thing, and you asked us earlier, what do salespeople miss on? I think we do way too much free consulting. I think we give our stuff away way too quickly. So if somebody wanted to increase their conversion rate, what I would say is the first thing you got to do is fix what's between your ears. And that begins with realizing you've got equal business stature with every single person you call on. We don't need to say how high when somebody says jump. We need to ask, when you say jump, why? And if I do, what happens next? Right? It's never being a jerk about it, but how do we manage somebody's expectations? If I do something for you, will you do something for me? If I'm okay coming over to your business to talk to you about this thing, are you okay telling me whether or not you think it makes sense? If at the end of the meeting you're not thinking this is a good fit, you tell me so. If at the end of the meeting I don't think it's a good fit, I'm going to be the same straight up with you. I don't think that sales is about convincing anybody. I don't think I can convince anybody of anything. I think sales is about going down and finding the truth and telling the truth. If there's somebody you can help, get paid the right amount for that and help them.
So what you're saying is that the positioning, the framework before you even get into the conversation is almost as, or if not, as important as the actual conversation?
I think it is as important. And I think that's where salespeople screw it up the most. As many of them ask questions, but the buyer doesn't know how to buy what it is that we have. They don't have any clue. And when you walk in the door, their preconceptions, if you let them buy it their way, somebody taught them they need to get 3 bids, they need to talk to 3 people, they need to beat down the price. And if you let them buy it their way, that's what'll happen every damn time.
So it sounds like you're saying that the type of marketing that we do here at Tash Advertising actually helps position your sales so that way you don't have to deal with all this nonsense.
That is absolutely right, Tash. You help a lot of people with that stuff. And the marketing is what gets people to see that starts the thing to show that we're different, right? If you have to tell somebody, if you're a sales guy and you've got to tell somebody, your prospect, we're different, you've already screwed it up. People need to see you as different before you even show up. It's from the marketing and advertising you do, and it's also on the phone call to be straight up with somebody. Don't know if I can help you or not. Not sure for the right ones. We're going to be expensive. Let's pretend it's the end of the meeting. You like what you see. What do you see happening next, right? And manage the expectations before you go. Have a process that you follow before you go in.